Okay, so today we talk about SACCOs, Savings and Credit Cooperative Societies. These are some of the most, I would say, popular financial institutions in Kenya, and most people always want to save with them. Most people want to have some kind of investment as a SACCO. A SACCO becomes part of your portfolio, becomes part of your investment. It's a very common thing amongst Kenyans, and I would believe even in Africa, but Kenya is one of the most popular places with SACCOs. But there are SACCOs in Africa as well. But Kenya has some of the largest and the best SACCOs because I think this was more like a Kenyan culture. From a wider perspective, of course, SACCOs, did grow from chamas, these local groups of people, local banking groups, whereby people did not have access to banks, they did not have access to credit facilities, and therefore decided to find their ways of ensuring they had credit facilities. And then, of course, these things grew with time, and members had to kind of bring in money together, get management, get ways in which they can invest that money, get ways in which they can support their own members by giving them loans and all that. And this has just grown to be such a massive financial institution that now controls billions and billions of dollars. So right now, we want to talk about SACCOs because this is a very popular topic for Kenyans. I know you guys love it. I know you guys want to know about SACCOs, about which ones are the best, which ones are giving you the best dividends, which ones are paying you the best interest on your savings, which one have like a minimum share capital, and all these factors around SACCOs. So I've done a video that just focuses on dividend payments. I've done a video that just focuses on performance of these SACCOs financially speaking. So it depends on actually what you're looking for. In this particular video, we're going to be looking at SACCOs in Kenya in 2024, but the best SACCOs. When I say the best SACCOs, I don't mean the best one in paying dividends or the best ones in interest. In this case, we're going to be looking at the best ones, generally speaking. I mean, we're going to look at certain factors. So before I list the best ones, I'm going to tell you what are we looking at on a SACCO. If you want to join a SACCO today, what should you be out there looking for? What should be your pointer of this is a good SACCO that I should actually join? Because remember, this is going to be like your bank. You're going to put in money, you're going to buy shares, because with SACCOs, you own part of that particular SACCO. When you buy shares and that share capital that you deposit that you cannot withdraw, that gives you ownership of the SACCO. That's how you actually own the SACCO. It's like buying a share of a different company. But with the SACCO, you are more involved. With the SACCO, you are more, I would say, much closer to what's happening than if you bought some kind of shares in the stock market or you bought some kind of shares in NSC. This one gives you a bit much closer look at what is happening and a closer say at the decisions that the SACCO is making. You are a much more involved participant in the decision making of the SACCO. So now, you want to join a SACCO. What are some of the factors you want to look at so that you make sure you're joining the right one? So before we go into the list of these best SACCOs that you can join in 2024 right now that are doing really well, not just in terms of performance, let's look at some of the things we want to consider them on and do that comparative analysis. So the first parameter you want to look at is financial stability of a SACCO. How is it doing financially? You have to look at their growth, you have to look at their performance in terms of revenue, you want to look at their performance in terms of profits, you want to look at their risk management. Most people never look at the risk management because it could be performing so well, but how much risk are they taking with your money? So how are they managing their risk? Because in a financial world, in an economic world, you have to look at the risk that any particular financial institution is taking for them to make money. So are they managing their risks really well? What are their strategies? And then, of course, those strategies will also inform their financial performance, their financial growth over time. And you want to look at, okay, have they been doing well financially? Have they been growing financially? Have they been managing their risks quite well such that they don't put too much money into the wrong things? They're not too liquid, for example, or they are not too illiquid. These are the things that will ensure that there is a manageable and sustainable growth for the SACCO. That's the first thing, financial stability. So look at their finances. And that's what I'm going to look at when I'm giving you this particular list. The second thing I always talk about is history and management. You don't want a SACCO that has had all their fair share of problems and drama and issues, right? You want to look at how well have they been managed? How well has the board done? How well have they done when it comes to like overhauling the board or changing management? Is it too dependent on a particular person or figure? Or is it something that has structures and systems in place? Therefore, even with the change in the management, always things remain the same. You want something stable, something that will be here 20, 30, 40 years from now, because with the SACCO, you want to be there for a long time. And you also want to see that they have a very good track record, a very good history that gives them that credibility and makes you know that they are a really good place to put your money long term. The next thing you want to look at, of course, in a SACCO is the shares policy. Now, when you're joining a SACCO, you have to have shares. That's what gives you the ownership to a SACCO. Number one, they're different in terms of minimum shares, they're different in terms of maximum shares, they're different in terms of the price of the shares, and that means you have to determine how much you're going to actually put in there that you can't actually withdraw. The share capital, most of the time in SACCOs, you can't withdraw it. You can only transfer it to an existing SACCO member or sell it to an existing SACCO member, but you can't withdraw that money. That's not even part of the money that is calculated towards you getting a loan or a credit facility. So you want to look at the share policy in that particular SACCO. That's a very important one. So before you join, is it something you can afford to actually pay upfront as a share, and how fast do they need it? And these ones that I did list or I will list here are based on very favorable share policies. Nothing exaggerated, but of course, they're all different. So if you want to join any of them, you have to do your due diligence. Then, of course, the most important thing, you want to look at the loan policy, right? You want to look at their credit facilities. What kind of products do they have? Like, you find that some of them have like loads of products. They have emergency loan, they have just a normal loan, they have like a development loan, they have a business loan, they have all these types of loan. So you want to look at all these products that they have, because you never know when you require a particular product. So the more products that a SACCO is providing in a good way can be a good thing, but can also be a bad thing, because that means that they are dishing out a lot of money that they may not be able to actually guarantee. So it depends. You have to balance it out. But the main thing is, if you're going into a SACCO, you want to look at the products they have and if they will serve your needs. So for example, you want to start a business and you want to specifically go for a business loan. So you want to look at that SACCO and figure out if they have good business loan policies, if they have that product within their loan facilities or within their credit facilities. So look at their loan policies, look at their products within that particular SACCO, how many are they offering, how do those products serve you, what are the interest rates on the loans, how expensive are those loans, because you could be going to a SACCO that is giving you very expensive loans, while you could find a SACCO that's giving you much cheaper loans. So do they give like more loans? Remember, they give you loans based on your savings. So if you have, let's say, a million Kenya shillings, some can say, I'm going to give you 2 times your savings, or 3 times your savings, or 4 times your savings. Most of them in Kenya right now gives you around 4 times or 3 times your savings. So will that be something sufficient for you, or you'd want something that gives you 5 times your savings? For example, if you are going for a loan particularly and you want as much as possible, then you'd want to look for a facility that will give you more money, helping you therefore to ensure that you have the amount of money you will need for whatever goal that you. Then of course you want to look at eligibility to join. What must you do for you to join? Some of these SACCOs require you to be referred by someone. That's one. Some of them are also closed SACCOs, meaning that there are only specific people that can join that SACCO. So that's a very important part. You need to know, are you eligible to join the SACCO? You could be looking at a particular SACCO, but you're not even eligible to join. So eligibility is a very important factor. And then one of the most important ones, dividend payments. Dividend payments and interest payment on your savings. This is very important, because at the end of the day, we are looking for money, we're looking to build wealth, we're looking to make more money, right? So if I'm saving with them, am I going to get any interest on my savings? If I'm going to get some dividends from the SACCO, how much am I going to get? And again, these are some of the factors that I did consider when I'm coming up with the list. And regulatory standards. You have to ensure that any SACCO that you join is regulated properly. Of course, SACCOs are regulated as part of the financial institutions in Kenya. So you want to make sure that the SACCO you're joining is properly regulated. I always talk about this when you're putting your money somewhere. Make sure that there's some level of regulation that protects you as the client. So if you're joining a SACCO right now, make sure that they meet the regulation standards of that country and what is required to do. Of course, you will know this information is available. If you go to any page, they will tell you every single thing that they have done to meet regulation or regulatory standards of that particular jurisdiction. This gives you a very good overview of what you need to look out for. I know some people just go and look for loans, you look for dividend payment, you look for interest on your savings, but you never delve deeper into other things, because then what you're looking for is the outcome. But sometimes you want to look at that particular SACCO's management and all these things I've mentioned for you to have that holistic view of the SACCO and know that you're there long term. Because most of the time, if you went to a SACCO, you're going to be there long term. It's a long term investment. And remember, you don't have to join just one SACCO. You can join more than one if you are eligible. Again, you go back to the eligibility question, right? Without further ado, so let's now go look at the list of SACCOs in Kenya that are meeting these standards that I've just set out. They do well, depending on different stuff, but comparatively, they're some of the best ones in Kenya right now. So number one is Kenya Police SACCO. Kenya Police SACCO was voted as one of the best managed SACCOs in 2023. That was last year. And that's an amazing thing. So like I said, one of the things you're going to look for is management. It has to be well managed. Now, Kenya Police SACCO, of course, will be open to certain people, and you have to check if you're eligible to apply. But I think most civil servants and most people are employed can actually join Kenya Police SACCO. So Kenya Police SACCO, check eligibility requirements, but it's one of the best managed SACCOs. So that's the first one on the list, Kenya Police SACCO. Go and check it out. And just to mention, Kenya Police SACCO gives you 3 times the value of your savings if you want a loan. 3 times the value of your savings. So again, if you're looking for, let's say, 5 times, 6 times, whatever, you won't be going to Kenya Police SACCO, because they have told you clearly we can only give you 3 times the value of what you have with us. So again, that becomes a condition for you when you're choosing a SACCO. The next one is Stima SACCO. Now, this is one of the best in my opinion. And if someone was to ask me which SACCO to join right now, I'd say Stima SACCO. Why? Number one, they're one of the largest in Africa by asset size. I think they're number 2 in Africa by asset size. They're the largest in Kenya by asset size. Now, their financial growth has been amazing and very stable as well. They have grown for over 50 years. I think they just celebrated their 50 years recently. Now, that gives you a very clear track record of that SACCO. You know very well that the SACCO is going to be here long term. So again, I look at the history and the management. They have had very good financial growth. They have had very good financial stability, which makes it a very, very safe place to actually put your money. And it's one of the best in terms of dividend payment. It pays almost 15% per share on the last dividend payment. Now, I don't think there's any other SACCO that beats it in dividend payment. But again, like I said, there are different factors you're considering, right? So Stima SACCO, one of the best for me, in my opinion. Then we have MoneyMatters SACCO. And of course, this will only be affiliated with certain people in the education sector. So it's quite a closed one. But it's a good, well-managed SACCO, has no drama, has been there for quite a long time. So it has a very clear history. And it's one of those that you can join if you know you are eligible to join. Then we have Hazina SACCO. Now, Hazina SACCO, what sets it apart is that it can give you up to 5 times your savings. Hazina SACCO, very clear growth history, very good management as well, has been performing consistently for a long time, it's quite stable, and it can give you up to 5 times your savings. And they give you a flexible payment period of up to 84 months. Most SACCOs will give you 60 months. So again, if you want more money, more time to pay, then you want to look at things like Hazina SACCO. So with 84 months, you get more money, 5 times your savings, and you have more time to pay. And then you can now do your business if you want to do a business. Then, of course, we have SACCO SACCO. SACCO SACCO is one of the best ones. Again, this one I think you have to be referred by someone. Their minimum contribution right now is 3,000 per month. They give you 3 times your savings if you want a loan, and that then informs you if you really want to join. And then of course it qualifies members to guarantee loans. That is Safaricom SACCO now. Then we have Nation SACCO. One beautiful thing about Nation SACCO is that you can access up to 500,000 Kenya shillings without a guarantor. Now, the other thing with SACCO is that you must get a guarantor for your loan. Now, if you don't have a guarantor, let's say you just joined the SACCO, you don't know anybody within the SACCO that can guarantee your loan, then you can get up to 500,000 without a guarantor. That's a really good value addition in the SACCO. And of course, there are many other things that comes with it in terms of like 84 months payment period. That means you have a longer time to pay your loan. They do have a minimum share of 250, and each share is 100 bob. So that puts you at around 25,000, that minimum for you to join the SACCO. So you need to know if you can actually afford that. So besides the SACCOs that I've just mentioned, those are like the top ones, the ones I would say, hey, these are good SACCOs. Then we have so many other SACCOs, and they meet different standards like I mentioned. We have Harambee SACCO, for example. We have United SACCO, for example, a very good one as well. We have Imarika SACCO, a really amazing SACCO. We have the Kenya Bankers Center. Then we have Tower SACCO, we have Kisi Fosa Avia SACCO, UN SACCO. You'd imagine which people can join that as well. Gusi Mwalimu SACCO House, Metropolitan National SACCO, Bandari SACCO, Mhasibu SACCO, Cosmopolitan SACCO, and Elimu SACCO. These are some of the best SACCOs in Kenya at the moment. So if you're looking to join a SACCO, let me know which one you're looking to join. If you belong to one, let me know in the comment section which one you belong to and why you like the one you like. Why exactly do you like it and do you prefer it over all the rest that I've just mentioned?